Hello, hello, everyone. I'm going to give y'all a second to get in here. Shelly was nice enough to let me come into your group and talk about SVGs with y'all. Let me see. And I meant to ask her if I can see comments of people here inside the group. But let me see. I'll get it pulled up in a separate window. And then we will be good to go. Excited to share with you all some talk about SVGs. Okay, good. All right, looks like we are streaming. We have our links up here. Okay, as you join, why don't you guys tell me where you are joining from? I would love to hear from you. And okay, we got a person joining here. Let's give you guys a few more seconds to join in here and wait for everything to sync up. Hello, hello. Welcome. Okay. Well, I am going to go ahead and get started. Okay. Here's a comment. Thank you, Shelly. So excited. Don't you guys just love Shelly? She is I call her my business bestie because her and I talk a lot. And we both have like quirky personalities. So we like to laugh about our businesses and all the craziness going on. And especially during these like weeks that I'm launching a product and she's busy like with her summits during certain times. And it just is the way that it is as a business owner. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive right in. Like I said, I would love to hear where you are joining from and talk to you for a bit. So let's go ahead and switch over to my slide. You all should be seeing this. If you are watching this on a recording, um, it is getting recorded in the group as well. So if you have any questions, I'm going to be checking back later on. So if you have any questions, just go ahead and pop them into the comments, and I'll be happy to answer them if you're watching this in the recording. So we're going to talk about SVG for crafters, okay? And if you are watching this, uh, you probably want to make your own SVG cut files. Um, many of you have Cricut or maybe a Silhouette, and you've seen these type of files uh, on Etsy or in your craft groups, and you know that you know what these are. This is one that we designed over on my Etsy shop, Pen and Posh, which leads me into my next slide here. My name's Kasey, and I am a mom. I am a crafter, and then oddly enough, I'm a farm girl and still a like computer geek. I don't know where exactly the techie side came from. I think that I'm just the type of person that needs to have a good balance in life. So I grew up on a farm from Pennsylvania, and I also have a formal education in computers, marketing, and graphic design. So I feel like this has really helped me in this business teach others. But first, a little bit more on that later. But first, I'm host of the Naptime Hustle podcast, where I help moms who have traditionally been, the crafty DIYers, hands-on type of people who create amazing things, anything from crocheted pillows to embroidery, uh, quilts. My mind went blank. Quilts, and then also people like that are into the wood vinyl projects or even artists. So I help them convert their handmade business into a more passive income business selling digital designs on Etsy specifically, which is where I got my start. So I've been designing for many years since 2016. And then when I learned it, I loved graphic design because it was a way to continue creating, not handmade items, but I still get the same satisfaction of creating visual designs. And so I started my Etsy shop in 2016 selling SVG files. I was hooked because the wins were more immediate. You could create a little clip art file in 30 minutes and have it up on your shop, and it was so, like, satisfying, and still to this day, gratifying work that just fuels me. And so my, Etsy shop, Clin and Posh, it has 56,000 sales. We've earned 6 figures and over 6 figures in just SVG sales, which I did not that was not the plan for me at all,
Hey,
but I just enjoyed it
Kasey.
so much that it kinda just came easy that, adding products and new designs, really helped the shop climb to the top 1% of shops selling on Etsy within the first 6 months after launch. So
Hey,
I
Kasey. Can you hear
figured
me?
out this whole passive income, business and pretty much stumbled upon it, and my background in internet marketing helped me figure out the Etsy algorithm, and I already had experience in SEO and search engine optimization and putting keywords into your listings so that they can be found, which I didn't know at the time that that's what was helping me, but it did. It helped me get found on Etsy. And so, after that, I was hooked with automated income and digital products and what they were able to provide me because I was a stay-at-home mom. I just had a baby. I have 2 girls now, and I've been able to work from home ever since. And so now I teach other people the same, industry. I teach them cut file designs, and I, have over 1,000 paying students, who I teach that to. So I love what I do. I love helping other people and teaching this area too. Okay, so to kick things off here, we have North Carolina. Hello, hello. Hello. Yeah, yeah, I'm gonna
Hey, Kasey, can you hear me?
Hey, Andrea.
Kasey?
Now I can see your all's name. So excited. Okay, so did you know that you can create your own cut files for Cricut, Silhouette, or Glowforge now? And so this is, again, a little design that we made. Many people think that they have to have, like, a background in drawing, and you actually don't, which is great news, right? I know I'm not an artist. I was never a drawer or somebody who that just came naturally to, and so I was super happy that once I learned Adobe Illustrator, I learned that I didn't have to draw my designs out by hand and have them be perfect because it's easy to manipulate and correct any mishaps, in Illustrator. And so if you are going to stay on this little, call with me, be sure to grab a notebook and a pen and go shut the door. You're going to wanna take some notes if this is something that you're interested in. I think that many of you and many people in general are interested in SVG designs, which we're going to go over why that is, because there are just so many different machines popping, right? And so but first, like, what are SVGs? SVGs, they stand for Scalable Vector Graphic, and a scalable vector graphic is pretty much just a vector. That's, like, the base of it. So you'll hear the term vectors around. Vectors are I like to tell my students, they're the beginning of your design. They're like the foundation of your design. And so a lot of designs that you see out there began in one way or another with a vector. The vector, you can think of it as like clip art or a logo. It's the very raw design. And so scalable vector graphics, SVG specifically, they are a vector that's been formatted, and in our situation, formatted to work in cutting machines. And so each vector is made up of paths. And when you tell this SVG file what paths to create for the cut path, it works properly in Cricut and Silhouette and Glowforge. But to clarify, not all SVGs are cut file SVGs. It has to be a cut file SVG in order for it to work properly in Cricut and Silhouette and Glowforge. All right. So now that we know what SVGs are for, what machines use SVGs or cut files? Let's go over this. You've already heard me talk about a few here, but let's go through like the differences. Cricut, and I'll go from most popular to least popular. Cricut is the most popular. I know that Silhouette is right up there. They've been around for a long time, but truth be told, Cricut has more of the market share at this point in time. Um, but we still have quite a large audience here of SVG users and using the Cameo and the Silhouette lines. And there's also products like Brother Scan and Cut, and I put etc. on here because there is really no way that I can list each and every cutting machine. These are just the top ones that from my, buyers over on Etsy and people who follow me, what they use. And so for the die cutting machines, these are the top machines here. And then there's also plasma and laser machines. So this is a little bit newer. Not that the machines are newer, of course, but for us at-home crafters who, create projects and are doing either as a hobby, for fun, or as a business, you're seeing a lot of growth in laser machines, specifically Glowforge. Glowforge kind of put their little stamp on the market for the at-home crafter to use the Glowforge. They're still kind of expensive. I expect the price to continue to go down, as more and more machines pop up, will compete with them. And then you also have, like, the plasma machines that are very similar to the laser machines. It's just a different type of, laser or that it uses to cut. This is a design by Bale, at Just One More Project. She's one of my students. I think you guys know her. She makes these adorable projects, and sells them. She sells SVGs as well as the actual physical product, and I just love her work, and I asked her if I could use her pictures. And so this is something that she created. A process that I teach is how to create a scoreable or a engravable SVG that just goes in a single line instead of chiseling or engraving away. It's just like as if like the machine is writing on like the stem right here. And so I like to figure out like my specialty, and what I like to teach my students is things that they don't know how to do because of technology barriers. And so one thing that I saw about a year ago was, hey, how do we create these like scoreable or kind of writable SVG files? And so this is something that I teach inside my Designing for Glowforge course. That's kind of cool, and something that you won't see too many places elsewhere. And then also CNC routers. So this is one that you can use your SVGs as well. It's not as well known, but it still is just like a blade, a little chisel that goes around. And instead of like a laser beam, it does a lot of like the same things that the laser cutting machines do. So it also but CNC routers also accept SVG files. So there's all of different machines that accept SVG files, which is really exciting because we're seeing a lot of in the crafting, cutting, laser engraving machines, and a lot of these technology being offered at places like Michael's, where they sell Glowforge, and there's Glowforge material in each of their store now. And so, especially backing up a slide here, I feel like, especially with like the laser machine market, I think that it will continue to grow and grow. I still believe and from our research that Cricut is the number one machine as far as SVG use and what the SVGs are being used for the most. But we're seeing a lot of growth again with Glowforge too. Okay, I'm gonna take a drink, check the comments over here. Yes, Bill's stuff is so, so cute. I love it. Mm-mm. Okay. Gotta have my caffeine. Okay, so softwares that make cut files. So let's go over these. So you have to have a certain type of a software to create your cut files. I'm gonna hop on over to this slide here. I just realized there's one that I forgot on here. You guys probably saw it, like, immediately. Silhouette Studio, the business or the designer edition, that should be included on this list too. But other like graphic design programs, you have Adobe Illustrator. This is what is taught to graphic design students at universities. This is more for people who are like my students that are wanting to design a lot of SVGs or who are wanting to sell SVGs and make a profit. So it is $20.99 a month, and that is a subscription that you can cancel at any time. There is a 7-day free trial there too. Inkscape is a free software, and that's one that, it's only on PCs, on PC computers and not Mac computers. And then CorelDRAW, this is similar to Adobe Illustrator. It's more, iPad-based. You pay $549 one time, which that is the perk or benefit to it is that it's just a one-time fee, and then also Affinity Designer as well, and so I wanted to list those out and show you, and I'm kinda kicking myself I didn't include Silhouette here, um, because you can export SVGs from Silhouette too. But the downside with using, like, Silhouette is you can't, set up your paths the same way that you can in each of these, softwares. These are, like, more graphic design softwares, that you can use, and like I was saying before, SVG cut files, you have to have a certain path, and that cutting path has to, it has to be formatted correctly in order for it to work in the program at the level that people are expecting, okay? And so what does that mean? So when people go and buy or grab a free SVG, they want all of the same colors to cut out at once, right? They want all of the same, um, textures in that file to cut out on one mat, right? On one type of material. So you think of like a puzzle, you want each of the pieces to go together and be cut out at once, and so that's why I teach in my designing for Cricut and Silhouette and Glowforge courses is how to create those paths and how to tell and put that into the SVG file so that it works inside the printing programs, and so you can't just upload any SVG design or any design. It will, maybe part of it will work, but not to the level that people are expecting. Now, I will say that you can convert, like, designs, like, that you find online using an automatic, like, generator, SVG generator, um, but those will have a little bit more, like, cleanup work to do depending on the file or the more complex the design. It will return kinda just like snippets, which I wish I had a screenshot of this, but it'll return just like pieces that you have to like merge or, combine together in order for it to cut out all at once. Alright, so those are SVG design softwares. Now, I kinda went over this a little bit already, but I know people would be interested, like, which machines are, like, the top machines, which machines are the most common for SVG files, and also which design software, is recommended if you're going to be doing this and want to start down this path of creating custom SVGs that you don't want any limitations. So instead of going out on the web and grabbing a design that you find, which could actually get you in trouble if you don't have that person's permission, or if you want to, again, like sell your designs and earn that passive income opportunity, then I definitely would recommend Adobe Illustrator. And then these are the 2, machines I've already talked about, Cricut, Glowforge, you can get familiar with those, but those are the top two that we're seeing, still continue to just dominate the SVG market. Now why Adobe Illustrator though? So Adobe Illustrator, like I said, it's what is taught to graphic design students, but that's not why I started using it, to design my SVGs on my shop before I started teaching it, right? The reason that I use Adobe Illustrator is because it makes the process a lot faster and easier. Adobe really puts money into making their software the easiest possible. And so one thing though that I realized when I learned Illustrator was that it was pretty overwhelming at first glance, I should say, because there's a lot of different tools and functionalities staring you in the face. But I realized that it was only a few different sections and different tools that I just used over again to create my SVG files. And then I had my customers coming to me on Etsy, which back in 2018 when I created my courses, um, uh, they were coming and asking me like, "How do you G files? Mine aren't working. I'm having error issues that are returning." And so I went through the process that I had used on my SVGs, and that's what I teach to people today. So I have this signature SVG creation process. It's a very streamlined four-step process that I teach my students that has been used on thousands of SVG files worldwide. And so it is proven. It's not just one that, I made up or I made up. It's one that I developed, way back then to work on any design. So you can put any design into Adobe Illustrator and run it through this process, and it will kick back a SVG every single time in the cut. And so it's little, hacks, things like that I think set Adobe Illustrator apart. The, um, the the shortcuts, which doesn't sound like a huge ordeal, but you can customize your shortcuts. So any keystroke that you press on your keyboard, it can do a certain thing and you can tell it to do that. So like I was going through the same, process, the same function using the same tools. You can just tell Adobe Illustrator, I want, the letter L on my keyboard to pull up this tool, and it will do that for you. So little things like that that really save you time. When you save time, you're able to create more designs, whether it's for your business selling SVG designs or it's a hobby at home. um, you don't have that limitation of time. I mean, the faster you're able to get your design out, the faster you're able to get done with your project, and the more time that you have to spend with your family or go and do the things that you love. And so, yeah, my trainings are a little bit definitely more catered to people who want to go the next step and do this professionally or do this for an income or do this, as a supplement to their craft business. And so I think people here in this group are more, hobbyists, but and I was talking to Shelly about this, there's some of you that might be interested in, like, starting your own business and, the income potential there, which I think in the economy and in the recession, that is such a good skill to have something like this under your belt because it's timeless. Having the ability to create graphic design. I mean, once you learn Adobe Illustrator, it's not just SVGs that you're learning to create. You're actually learning Adobe Illustrator and graphic design in general. So it's not just SVGs that you can create now. It's logos, it's promotional flyers, it's not having to roam the web for SVGs or designs ever again, right? So you're able to take what is in that already creative, crafty, handmade DIY brain of yours and turn it into a reality. And it's something that I'm so passionate about because I didn't realize, back when I started this, that that was something that would floor me. And I love seeing this play out in my students when they are just like when the light bulb clicks and they learn, how to create their own SVGs, and then they sell them, and then they see them out in the world. They see them on a T-shirt, they see them on, you know, well, I mean, mainly it's T-shirts, but a decoration. I've had students that, like, they'll walk into stores and see their design on decorations and items being sold, and it's just the coolest thing. It's the most gratifying work. I kinda geek out on all that. If you are interested, let me go over I'm just looking and seeing how we're doing on time. Okay, we got plenty of it. Okay, let's see here, making sure. Okay. Am I still making a echo muffled sound? Hmm, let's do that. My audio. Hmm. Let me see. I wanna make sure that you guys aren't hearing it. Okay, good. Alright, good. Alright. Shelly was saying, it kinda sounds echoey, but maybe it sorted itself out." There have been so many so many digital glitches today, but I'm glad that it's not doing it. Okay, so right now, today actually is the first day that we have opened up our designer, courses. And so starting today is look, October 11th, and going until October 18th, we have our open cart date. Traditionally, my course has been called the Designer's Course, SVG files. We still have that. We're updating it, and it's just going to be a foundational, part of the course inside our revamped courses. So this is like brand spanking new. We are updating this, and you will be the first into this newly updated, couple courses, depending on which one you choose. So I have design for Cricut and Silhouette, and then we also have design for Glowforge, and so depending on which machine you want to design for, the reason that I created these 2 courses again is because these are the machines that we're seeing a lot of people are needing SVGs for, that are out on Etsy, that are buying, that are, also crafting, at home with, and so we have, the designing for Cricut and Silhouette. You go through, you have your foundational designer's course SVG files where you learn Adobe Illustrator. I go over, Adobe Illustrator for iPad as a new training we're adding to that. And it is just, we put blinders on. So even if you've never designed before, we go at a pace that you can learn quickly. And for those of you who are like, "Well, I already kinda know Adobe Illustrator." There's people that go through the program that still learn things from that part 1 of the course, the designer's course to SVG files. So inside each of these, you get that designer's course to SVG files, you learn Adobe Illustrator. You learn the tools and functions that are just specific to SVG creation. So you don't need, to eat the entire pie to know that it tastes good, right? You can go in there and just learn those parts and not have to worry about all the other, areas inside the software. That way, you're creating SVGs that same week. Many people create their first SVG on taking my course within the first couple days, if not within the first day, because it's that condensed and we chalk that much information in a very, short module, layout. And so in designing for Glowforge now, you get that same foundational course and that same foundational training. And then, in the part 2, we dive into the setup, the SVG file setup that's specific to Glowforge. There's some misconceptions out there on the, coloring of your Glowforge files, that they have to be this or they have to be that. I really break that down and go through the misconceptions that are out there to teach you, "Look, this is how Glowforge is communicating with your SVG file and vice versa," right? And so when you go in and create your SVG, you need to know, um, that, and then you also need to know how to create, like, stackable SVGs, how to create SVG parts, that that complement each other and that fit together because that is very important when designing for Glowforge. Um, and even just, the 3D setup. I also teach you how to create that etchable or scorable SVG, um, like that one that Veil, that image of Veil. I can jump back here real quick. Like this, I teach you how to create those itty bitty strokes and how to tell the SVG to create that because you have to tell it to do that. And then how to differentiate between like engraving. Okay, so hey, SVG file, you're going to engrave here, but then over here you're going to score. And so I teach you how to build all of that in so that the user, whether it's yourself or somebody else, um, that's already set up and ready for them to go. So we're really getting the SVG as far as we can. In designing for Cricut and Silhouette, we dive into, like, how to create, patterns, how to, create your own patterns, your grunges, your, overlays, how to create, your 3D SVG files as well, like boxes and cards, and how to assemble those and fit those together. We also go over how to add little just hacks, like how to create the hand-drawn look and fake it. How to, add that hand-drawn flair or even, embellishments to your text, how to warp text, how to manipulate text, how to wrap text around a shape. All of those really neat, cool design tricks that you can't get in softwares like Cricut and Silhouette, or Glowforge, right? And so all of that is packed into each of these courses. Um, I'm going to give you a link here in a second, which we'll send in the comments, uh, that shows you and breaks it down what's inside each of these courses. And so when you receive the update, which, our live date for those updates, they're going to be published by October 28th, which we're really excited about. But this is how it all, breaks down. And so Shelly is an affiliate of mine. She's amazing, and she's letting me come in here and talk to each of you. And included, this is, like, why, what I wanted to include, like, in each of these courses because they are more of a premium course. This isn't just like, a training that you get one time and then and you'll never, hear from me again. So a big part of what I offer students is I show up live each and every week, teaching students, answering questions, because when you're learning an area such as this, you need somebody by your side holding your hand to answer those questions. Um, you get lifetime access to each of these courses as well and any updates. So even though I'm revamping these right now, and we're putting new materials into them, new training, updating things. All of the students who have purchased from me in the past, they get grandfathered to them, okay? And so you get lifetime access, to the part 1 and part 2 to each of these. You get access to a private Facebook group that is full of SVG designers and people who are traditionally crafters, who are wanting to earn that passive income, or who are just designing and adding that to their handmade business already. Okay. And then you also get unlimited email support. So I have a team member standing by answering each and every one of your questions if you need support sooner than on Tuesday when I go live and answer all your questions then. And so that's the big part to these courses and my programs is I really want to be there for you to answer your questions. Sometimes people are like, "Casey, like, you don't have to offer that. People will still buy because, the courses have a lot of information in them." But it's something that I honestly just enjoy doing, and it's something that I think you guys need. Like, it's something I needed when learning Adobe Illustrator, which actually, and I should have, hit on that a little bit more, this is all taught inside Adobe Illustrator. So each of these is taught inside Adobe Illustrator. Now, the reason, again, why Adobe Illustrator is because it's fastest, it's easiest, and they update their system. You don't have to keep on, like, rebuying their license or whatever when it becomes out of date, because it's just automatically syncing and updating in the background. So way less than Inkscape. I've wanted to throw my computer out the window when I use Inkscape, and it works either in PC computers or Mac computers. Let me take a break. I'll hold this up for you guys for a second, and let me check. Just make sure. Yes, thank you, Shelly. Shelly isn't feeling good, you guys. Let's all send her some soup. I hope she gets better. Okay, and then there's also Mockups 101, included in the design for silhouette. And, the mockups, that is teaching you how to add, like, your design to image of a T-shirt, right? And so you don't have to create the T-shirt from scratch. You can just put your design over top of that image and then have it on your Etsy shop or your website or social media, and so it saves a lot of time, and then if anybody orders that product, you can, go and make it then. But you have this image that, instead of going and taking a picture of it, you instead just put your design over top of that image, and so I teach you how to do that in Mockups 101 training. Whoops, let's go back. And then I also teach you just, another bonus that's included is the formula to top selling SVG designs. That's a favorite one too because we talk about just, like, color combinations, what to use, what not to use, what, combos to use, and what not to use, the little design hacks that make all the difference to whether or not your product is going to be, one that people gravitate to, that looks cute and it has all of those little graphic designer, need to knows that help it be a top seller. And then I also do additional training sessions. So we've done, copyright training. We've also done, like, sublimation training, and this is all inside the free sorry, not the free group. This is inside the private group. Um, Pretty much students come, they ask me to go over a new software or something that they've heard about, and that's our monthly training. That's what we go over, and so that's another big, um, area that students enjoy there. Okay, now I wanted to include this for anybody that joins, while watching this. So, if you join while you're watching this webinar, I have a bonus for you. So this is brand new. I haven't offered it. You're the very first group of people that I'm offering this to, and then I have a webinar on Thursday for 20 people that I'm also offering this to, and it is going to be a live training that I do, and I'll record it so you have lifetime access to it as well. I'm gonna teach you Canva and how to use Canva, which is an online, um, marketing tool. You can create promotional materials with a drag and drop system. For those of you who haven't heard of it, it is very, very easy to use, but there's some little hacks and things that I'm going to teach you. We're just going to breeze over, like, how to create cute, attractive, high converting listing images, how to use their smart mockups because they have, like, a drag and drop where you can, um, put your design on a T-shirt, on an image of a T-shirt, I should say, and have it actually fit, like, around the T-shirt. So they have, like, these, like, filters that actually make it, like, blend, like, with that T-shirt. So it looks like it's really on the shirt. It's really cool. And so, I'm going to show you how to create social media, images, how to, like, add, like, a background to them, how to put the designs on those mock-ups. So that is going to be included if you enroll today while watching this video, um, for those of you who are watching it after, like, watching the recording, um, we'll definitely, like, still offer this to you all as well, um, but you have to enroll, like, in Shelly's group. Okay? So, Shelly has the links that she's posted. Thank you, thank you. Yes, and there is a bit of a glitch that is happening over on Teachable right now that I'm like, of course, it's happening right now over on Teachable, all the glitches. So, if it's still, like, glitching for you guys, you click that link, just check back later, and then we're also going to post, I believe, another link or 2, once it's worked out its glitches. So, yeah, Teachable's down right now, so when you click on those links, I think it's still being a little bit silly today, not working as well, but the prices for each of the courses, so Design for Cricut and Silhouette, $437 one time, you pay that and you have lifetime access, or you just pay $83 today and then 5 additional payments that are 30 days apart after that, and that again is for Design for Cricut and Silhouette. Now, Design for Glowforge is $477 one-time payment. Again, just pay that $477 one time, and you get lifetime access, you get lifetime updates, you get the live support, the live lifetime access to that private Facebook group, or you can just pay $91 today and then 5 additional payments 30 days apart. Either way, and so click the link in the comments to join. I would love to have you over there. We have such a fun group of people and really just enthusiastic, like, everybody just helps each other too in that group, and so it's not a place where there's, like, any competition, which I thought that that would be, like, a thing, but it's a very tight niche, just close group of people who are willing to help each other, like, all on this journey together, and even though, many of them are selling SVGs right next to each other over on Etsy, um, just your style and your type of SVG that you sell isn't the same style as somebody else's that, would really vibe well with a certain person. Well, yours have a unique appeal and style to them, and so we don't feel like we're each other's competitors, like, ever, and it's a very open, transparent group. So, I would love to have you over there. Again, we close the doors, October 18th, so after that, you will not be able to get in, and so go ahead and click the link below, and I would love, love, love to see you over there. And I just wanted to say thank you, Shelly, for letting me come in here, and, yeah, we're kinda bummed that Teachable's doing that today, but it is what it is. Alright, I'm hopping over to my group and onto another call, actually the last call, so anybody that's joined while I've been on here, go over to the Facebook group. Once you get in, that very first video that you see, you'll be able to just click the link right below it and head on over to the group, request access, and then we're going to have a live call here in 15 minutes where I answer all your questions. So I'd love to meet you over there, and I'll see you guys later. Thanks again, Shelly.